Good morning, guys. So we have a new poem this week, and it's called The Parts of the Plants, and it actually goes to the tune of a song called The Muffin Man. But it looks like it's a lot of words, but the words are very, very repetitive, so that if you can read one sentence, you can read several sentences in it, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and start. I'm going to make sure that we can blow it up so you can see it a little bit better. Remember, you can always hit the plus arrow so you can see, and then you move the box around so you can see everything where you want to see. All right, so our title is Parts of the Plant, and we're just going to go through and highlight our sight words first, because these are the words that we don't have to stop to try to sound out. So in our title, we have of, and then on our first line, we have do you know the parts, and then of. On the next line, we have of, the, of, and then do you know the, and of. What about that last line? Do you see any sight words? We do. We have that, make, them, and. So look at how many words you have that you can read in those 4 sentences just from knowing your sight words. Okay, so now I'm going to help you fill in the other parts of this first group, okay? So it says, oh, do you know the parts of plants? The parts of plants, the parts of plants. Do you know the parts of plants that make them, let's see, that's got that OW, so grow and grow. So look, in those whole 4 sentences, there's only 3 other words that you need to figure out once you know your sight words, okay? Let's try that first part one more time. Oh, do you know the parts of plants? The parts of plants, the parts of plants. Do you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow? All right, let's try the next group of sentences. Are you ready? Let's look at our sight words first. The, they, the, in. How about the next one? The, in, the, in. Oh, and you know what? I forgot one. We just learned the sight word place. We added that. So place, place, place. We actually added that in the last couple weeks. Then the next line says the, they, the, in, place. And our last line's a little bit different. Do you see any sight words? We do. We have up and water and to, because we added water a few weeks ago too. All right, so let's try that chunk together and figuring out the other words that we don't have highlights. So I have the, and then look at this word. It's got that O in the middle. So roots, roots. They hold the plant in place. The plant in place. The plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place. And look, we have that OA, so it's going to say O, oak. Soak up food and water too. Okay, so we're going to say it again, and then I'm going to show you a motion to help you with it, okay? It says, the roots, they hold the plant in place. The plant in place, the plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place. Soak up food and water too. And we're reading that part. We're going to act like our hands are the roots because our roots go down underwater, and we're going to grab, and soak up. So they soak up that food and water through. All right, let's move it down a little bit so we can see the next part. All right, in the next section, we have sight words. We have the, water, up, the, up, the, up, the, water, up, and then our last one has water to the. Okay, so we have a few more words we have to figure out in this section. So let's look at this word. Stem. The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant, brings water to the leaves. And there's a motion we have for that too, because our stem is going to go straight up. It's the part that helps, it's kind of like a backbone for the flower. And so what that stem does is we're going to act like we're the water, and you're going to say, the stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant, brings water to the leaves, because it's going to go to the leaves. Good job. All right, and then our next section, our sight words, we have the, up, the, and of. The, of, the, of. The, up, the, and of. And then our last line we have and, help, the, and make. Okay. So we're at our leaves now is where we're going to start. Ready? So the leaves, and let's see this word we read in the second part, soak up the, it's got that AY, so rays of sun, the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. Okay, so we're going to read it one more time, and I'm going to show you the motions. Are you ready? The leaves soak up the rays of sun, the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. So what you're going to do is you're going to act like they're your hands, and so the leaves are going to soak up the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. Very good. So your leaves are sucking all those rays of sun up. All right, let's look down. Our next part in our sight words, we have grows into a, the grows into a, which, the next part's a little bit tricky, okay? So now it says the flower. The flower grows into a fruit, into a fruit, into a fruit. The flower grows into a fruit, which holds the tiny seeds. So what you're going to do is you're going to act like you're a flower. So remember, a flower opens up. Are you ready? So the flower grows into a fruit, into a fruit, into a fruit. The flower grows into a fruit. And then you're going to say, which holds the tiny seeds. And then the last part is really easy because it's a lot like our first part. We have now, you, know, the, and of. The, of. The, of. Now, you, know, the, of. That, make them grow and grow. So it says, now you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants. Now you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow. Very good. All right, we're going to try to read through it now, okay? So this one's a little bit longer, but it's really, really repetitive, okay? So I have parts of plants, and I'm going to get ready to record it. So remember, when I record it, I'm going to hit my button. I'm going to hit start record, and then I can use my pointer to help me know where I'm at. Okay, so I have parts of plants. It says, oh, do you know the parts of plants? The parts of plants, the parts of plants. Do you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow? Now, when we have actions, of course, you can't hold down the button. So you'll have to stop pointing for this part. But we have remember the roots are going to go down. The roots, they hold the plant in place. The plant in place. The plant in place. The roots, they hold the plant in place. Soak up food and water too. Very good. And then we move down to our next, remember our stem. The stem moves water up the plant, up the plant, up the plant. The stem moves water up the plant, brings water to the leaves. Now we're at our leaves. The leaves soak up the rays of sun, the rays of sun, the rays of sun. The leaves soak up the rays of sun and help the plant make food. And then look, I'm going to scoot my box down a little bit. Now we have our flower. Are you ready? The flower grows into a fruit, into a fruit, into a fruit. The flower grows into a fruit, then remember, which holds the tiny seeds. And then we can go back to pointing for our last part because we don't need our hands. Now you know the parts of plants, the parts of plants, the parts of plants. Now you know the parts of plants that make them grow and grow. So now that I'm done with my recording, remember I just hit done. And then there's my recording right there. All right, you guys have done such an awesome job. I am so excited to hear all the words you can read from this poem.